the Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.
We're going to go right now for an interview that we did on the streets here close by in Finsbury Park. We interviewed some people asking the same question. Eddie, you ready there for the interview? Yes? So let's watch.
Do you believe that holding grudges keeps someone in the past, stopping them from living the present to the fullest?
Yeah, definitely. That's so. People create their own worlds in their own minds, and holding a grudge is definitely the process in which we all do that. I mean, we all hold grudges to some extent, but at least I think it's good not to try not to. It's not good for your health and other people's as well. Yeah.
100% it does. You should never hold a grudge. Whatever the person did to them, they have to find a way to forgive them. You let them move on in their lives, you move on with yours and let it go.
You need to move on if you can, but obviously sometimes that's going to be hard. But you should really do what's best for you, and that most of the time that would be moving on, I would say.
It's a process, so it takes a while, but eventually you get there. I mean, there's things that people do to you and you just have to either let it go, or then it just hurts yourself, doesn't it? I mean, people hurt you all the time, don't they? So it's a matter of just forgiving.
I've had very short-term grudges against colleagues, against people that I met, and I've tried to get over them as quickly as possible.
Some people can let go more easily than others, that's for sure. I think it's very healthy to let go of grudges and very negative to hold on to them. And it's not good for anyone's health, especially your own, because it makes you ill to hold grudges. And it wastes your life and energy.
Work towards, forgiving someone. It's not a flip of a switch where you can just say, oh yeah, I forgive you. It takes some time. I would say it's not that easy, but I can do that.
It's difficult, but it gets easier as you heal. Do you know what I mean?
I've had grudges, for sure. Gotten by letting go of them, and I probably still have a few. But if I dig around, I'm sure I can find a grudge somewhere.
As a matter of fact, today we're going to talk about 5 signs that you are still holding a grudge. You want to know if you're still holding a grudge? We're going to talk about 5 signs. If you have one of these 5 signs, you probably still holding a grudge. We're going to watch now, how you say, Eddie?
The video about grudges.
It's a video about grudges, right? It's we are talking about Brad Pitt, correct? Brad Pitt.
Yes, Pastor.
And what was the name of his wife?
Angelina Jolie.
The one before that one.
I don't know, Pastor.
Okay. Yes, I can remember right now. Does any one of you know? What was the name? Let me see here if the faithful listeners will write it down here. So let's go for because I think they mentioned the name of her. Okay, let's go. I know it was Angelina Jolie, but I think he already separated from this one, right?
Oh, really?
And he had a previous, yes.
Wow.
And he had a previous one. So let's watch this video.
There is a popular saying that holding a grudge is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. This means that if you think holding a grudge will affect the other person somehow, you are terribly mistaken, because the only person who will be affected and hurt is you. A person harbors a grudge when they hold on to bitterness, resentment, or other negative feelings long after someone had done something to hurt them. According to Dr. Megan Gerber from the University of Washington, part of holding a grudge is replaying the story over and over in your head and thinking about all of those emotions associated with it. According to research, people who hold on to a grudge experience a greater cognitive decline than those who were more open to forgiveness. Another study showed that grudge bearers performed more poorly on a physical health test than their peers. Dr. Gerber states, people tend to notice that things get tighter, your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, your muscles tighten. That's similar to what's going on in your body when you are under stress. Some celebrities have been believed to have held on to certain grudge against their former partners, although they have never admitted it. As it was with actress Jennifer Aniston, she and Brad Pitt started dating in 1998, and after 2 years the couple got married. After 5 years of marriage, they got divorced. Rumors had begun to swirl in 2004 about Brad cheating on Jennifer with Angelina Jolie, his co-star in the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Brad and Jennifer insisted at the time that their split had nothing to do with the cheating rumors. And just 1 year after the divorce, Brad and Angelina went public with their relationship. The theory that Jennifer was not happy with the new couple was reinforced when she responded in a Vanity Fair interview in 2005 to a 60-page photo shoot spread that Brad and Angelina had just done. Is it odd timing? Yeah, but it's not my life. He makes his choices. He can do whatever. We're divorced, and you can see why. Brad Pitt has apparently caused resentment, but not only in one of his ex-wives. There were rumors that after his divorce from Angelina Jolie, the former partners have not been on very good terms. In 2019, Jolie opened up to Harper's Bazaar about her emotional state. My body has been through a lot over the past decade, particularly the past 4 years, and I have both the visible and invisible scars to show for it. Sometimes you get hurt. You see those you love in pain, and you can't be as free and open as your spirit desires. It's not new or old, but I do feel the blood returning to my body. Holding on to a grudge is not healthy, as these negative feelings make you prone to persistent rumination rather than moving on with life. A grudge inhibits the ability of one to cope with or resolve issues, keeping them stuck in the past, trapped in the unpleasant situation that caused them distress. On tonight's program, you will find out how to respond more effectively to difficult or hurtful situations. Stay tuned.
And there are 5 signs. There are 5 signs that shows when a person is keeping a grudge. Eddie, let's go for the first sign. Look at this. Feeling angry at the person who hurt you. Feeling angry at the person who hurt you. So, do you still feel angry when you think, when you talk about, when you see the person that hurt you? Are you still angry? Are you still mad? Do you still have hatred against the person for what they have done? So this is a sign of a grudge. This is a sign of unforgiveness. Number 1. And what else, Edir? So number 2, avoiding the person as much as possible. Avoiding the person as much as possible. So, do you see yourself avoiding the person? You cannot stand before the person. You cannot look the person in the eyes. You cannot talk to the person. You cannot lift your head and, face the person that hurt you. So, it may be a sign of unforgiveness, of grudge. Of course, there are cases that is even healthy for you to avoid. There are cases that are even necessary that you avoid the person that hurt you. But if you pass by, if you see the person, and you cannot stand the person, you cannot look the person in the eyes, you cannot talk to you can even hear about the person. Someone talks about the person, it gets on your nerves. So this may be a sign of a wound that has not been healed yet. Number 3, Edir, please. Not wanting to talk about the matter. Not wanting to talk about the matter. Have you seen, friends, that when a person is transformed, when there's been a transformation in a person's life, the person is able to talk about their past, like if they were talking about someone completely different. Have you noticed this? You see this on the testimonies. People, they're not afraid, they're not ashamed. It's like they are speaking of, they are talking about someone completely different. It's like they are not the person anymore, and in fact, they are not the person anymore. That's why they can talk with no feelings. But when you don't forgive, when you haven't forgiven someone who hurt you, it's very hard to talk about it because it still hurts. You know the wound that never healed. And when you touch that wound, when you start to touch, to move around, it still hurts, still bleeds because it was never healed. But when you forgive, when the wound is completely healed, it doesn't hurt anymore. Yes, there is a mark. You still remember what happened. You're not going to fall to the same mistake again. You learn from your mistakes. But it doesn't hurt to talk about anymore because it's been healed. So let's go for sign number 4. Doing all it takes to prove how much better off you and things are now. Doing all it takes to prove how much better off you and things are now. So it's like you are on a mission to prove yourself to the person that hurt you. You know, you want to prove that you are far better off. You are doing better. You are happier. And you live in function of proving to that person who hurt you, who left you, whatever that person did to you, that you don't need her anymore, that you are much happier without him right now, and so on and so forth. So you pretend that you forgot. You are pretending that you forgot, but you didn't. Number 5, Edir. Hoping that something bad happens to the other person. Wow. You are hoping that something bad happens to the other person. So secretly, in secret, you are still cheering for the person to go down, for something really, really bad. You want payback. You want vengeance. And these are the 5 signs that you haven't forgiven yet. These are 5 signs. And if you have one of them, it's very likely, it's probably you haven't forgiven yet. You have grudges in you. And you need to forgive, you need to let go. Because I don't know if you noticed this, but in these 5 signs, there's something in common. You are a hostage of the person that hurt you. You are living your life thinking about the person. Everything you do is because of the person. So it's like you're hostage. You're not free. A grudge will never set you free. Some people think that forgiveness is a favor you're doing to the person that hurt you. No. Forgiveness is a favor you do to yourself. Many people, when we pastors, we tell them, you need to forgive. And the person will say, but Pastor, this person, so and so, does not deserve. Like if it was a favor you're doing to the person. No, it's not about that. You're missing the point. When you forgive, you're doing yourself a favor. It's not because that person deserves. It's because you deserve to be happy.
The Love Talk Show on Liberty Radio.